Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's press conference. Appreciate everybody joining in. As you can see, the newest captain of the St. Louis Blues, Ryan O'Reilly, is here and ready to take your questions.
Ryan, congratulations. Jim Thomas here, and happy holidays. Are you used to being called captain?
Not yet. Obviously, it's yeah, it's very different for sure. But I'm excited for it. It's definitely an honor to be seen in this light from the organization and the players as well, and to hear from them and get their support. It's pretty amazing. I know my parents and family are very excited too, and yeah, it's something I think it'll take a little while to get used to, but it's an exciting challenge for it.
Ryan, have you kind of sat back a little bit and reflected and thought about just your ascension from the moment you got traded to the Blues to where you're at here now, and just how incredible it's been for you since you've been in St. Louis now?
Yeah, I haven't had really much time to really look back. Try to busy, preparing as best we can for the season and all the stuff that's going on here. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how things change, and to just go from one thing to winning, and then to now this, to being a captain is, it's something I, never thought would happen. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. But obviously there's a lot of work that comes with it that will be very challenging and fun.
Hey, Ryan, how do you define leadership? A lot of people say it's your people's play on the ice, maybe what you say in the room, maybe the extra drills after practice, but how do you describe leadership?
I think leadership is very different, and can be described in so many different ways. For myself, I think there's, I have certain strengths that I think the guys respect a lot, and they know I want to win, and I think I help push push guys in that sense. But there's a lot of ways for myself to grow. I think there's a lot of things that I'm kind of I find uncomfortable, and I think when that usually happens, that means there's growth to be had. And over the summer, I think I kind of realized it was time for me to kind of take a step, regardless of the C or not, but really to have more communication and really be more responsible for the way things operate and the way the team functions as well. So it's an exciting challenge, and leadership comes in many different ways. And I think it's one of the best things about this team is that we have so many different good leaders. We have guys that step up in all different areas, and it's comforting now as captain to kind of see that there's that support there. But excited to be able to initiate it and get things going.
Hey Ryan, Tom Timmerman. Going back in your hockey history, when, if ever, have you been a captain before? And along the way, what captains have you learned valuable lessons from?
Gosh, I can't even remember the last time I wore a C, but it might have been, I think, like an under-18s maybe with Team Canada. And when I was young, I wore it a few times, and it was definitely a cool experience then and such. Over my career, I think as I've kind of gotten older and such, you kind of pay attention to the way guys lead more and more. And when I first came into the league, I had Adam Foote as a captain, and remember what he did, and just the relationships that he had with the staff and everyone. It was pretty amazing to see, and it's definitely something that you admired and looked up to, and eventually wanted to be kind of that kind of guy. I know coming here and being part of this group and the veteran groups, I was kind of blown away with seeing what it takes to lead, and seeing Petro and the way he handles himself and the other veterans here. It was amazing. I think I learned a lot in this past 2 years of kind of what it takes, and how hard it is, but also how rewarding it can be.
Ryan, there's been obviously the passing of the torch now between Petro to you now. Have you talked to him at all? Has he given you any words of wisdom on sort of taking over the C role now?
Yeah, it was very nice of him. He reached out, and we just sent a few messages back and forth and such. But he's very supportive of it, it was nice to hear from him. And we're definitely going to miss him. But yeah, he kind of extended all the branch too to kind of be. If there's anything I ever need, don't hesitate to call him. And, I probably wouldn't want to reveal too much since he's now the enemy, but still to have, that support from him. And, he's been here for so long and built this culture. It's great to have the support from him and be able to reach out to him if I need.
Ryan, as captain, do you change your approach at all in terms of how maybe you interact with the team? Is there anything more you'd like to do, or maybe something that you were hesitant to do when you weren't wearing the C?
Yeah, I think obviously when Chief and Army told me, even over the summer, I kind of we were kind of obviously unsure what was going to happen with a lot of our veteran players, and unfortunately we lost a lot of them. But I kind of knew that it was my turn to evolve as a leader and be more involved and kind of getting to see. I think there's an instant responsibility that you feel for everyone's well-being, and not just the players but the staff as well. I think it's my job to be responsible for everyone, and it's going to be a challenge, and I think a good challenge. And I've kind of mentioned this before, but yeah, it'll be uncomfortable at times, but I'm excited for that because I know I have to find new ways to do things, and it's not just preparing for them. It's things are going to happen, and I have to adapt. I have to go through them and experience them, and I think doing it with a good heart and the trust of the team and trying to win, and they know that. I think it'll figure itself out for the best.
Ryan, just as a follow-up, there's in pro hockey in the NHL, there's a mystique to being captain, which is really kind of unique to hockey among all pro sports. Any thoughts to why that's the case?
Gosh, it's tough to say. It's a tough question. I think one of the best things about our game is that you need every player, and you need everyone on the staff. You need every single guy in order to win. And I think a captain's job in that is to bring everyone together and bridge that gap from the coaches to the players, the training staff to the players and coaches and such. I think a captain has a big influence on that, and I think that's why it's such a something I'm so excited for, is to be able to be a part of that and make that those relationships as strong as they can be. So it's definitely a unique thing that I will take a lot of pride in.
Hey Ryan, what do you expect the identity to be of this coming season's Blues team?
There's a culture that's been built here, and it's known that when we touch the ice, we are hard to play against. And I think talking with our leadership group, that's not changing. We know when you put on that Blues jersey, it's required that you will compete and make it as tough as possible on the other team. And we have some different personnel and such, but overall that is our mindset going into. You're going to work first, and you're going to trust the system, and that's kind of what we want to continue, and I think will be very effective.
Were there lessons along those lines thus learned from the bubble and what happened there with the Blues losing the first round?
Yeah, it was tough. I don't think we came in. There was a lot of unknowns and before the bubble and how it was going to play out, and I just, as a group, I don't think we were prepared enough for it. As players, I think we needed to do a better job of, coming in and making impact right away. I think we waited too long to kind of turn it on, and I can feel now the sense around our group. We kind of have an idea of what we're going into, and seeing guys work and stuff. They're preparing hard, and I feel confident in that we'll we've learned our lesson, and it's time to respond and get back to winning.
Ryan, you've used the word uncomfortable a couple of times here. How much does embracing the uncomfortable make you what you are, whether it's a captain or a player or a person?
I think one of the reasons of probably playing in the NHL and such is I think that was something my dad kind of taught me when I was very young is, the things that are the most challenging, the things that make you uncomfortable are usually the most meaningful and can make the most impact. And I've tried to adopt that as much as I can in my career. Is, when you're unsure of something, kind of go into it more, and if there's something you find challenging, spend more time on it. Go into it. And I think whether it's my performance or, taking a step like this in my role, I think it's exciting because I know that I can become a better person out of it and a better player as well. So it's I think it's a big part of my makeup, and I feel just even as a person, you constantly are striving to be better, and you kind of find new ways to do things, and that's something that'll, I think, last forever. We'll always be trying to improve ourselves.
Ryan, the assistant captains were also named, and I think we know what kind of leaders Tarasenko and Shen are, but in particular, Parayko, what do you see in him, and how can you help groom him into a leader type?
Well, he's already, an amazing leader, and probably one of the nicest guys on the planet. He truly is an amazing guy that really cares about every single person, and his game too, the way he performs, and he's a guy that just takes it over sometimes, which is very impressive to see, and he has a ton of respect from everyone in this room, and it's not necessarily me teaching him, it's him constantly doing what he does. He just has a presence, and I think with Petro being gone, I think his role enhances for sure, which I think he will do a great job of elevating to it. So he's he's a huge piece of this team, and it's exciting to see him. He'll be getting more opportunities.
Ryan, you're going to be missing now Alex Steen, Jay Bouwmeester, Petro, and you mentioned Jake Allen. These are guys that have been staples in this locker room for a long time, and Steen mentioned yesterday that he feels you guys are going to be fine, and just the closeness and the tightness of this group has really kept you guys together, and feels like that's going to be the case moving forward. Do you feel like moving forward that's going to have to be part of this culture of taking you guys transitioning from them to this group now?
What those guys built here is something special. They were really responsible for each other and made sure they competed at everything they did. And coming in here 2 years ago, I really took notice of it and saw how important it was. And again, our leadership group has talked about it. That's something we want to maintain. And we want to play like Steener. The way every time he touched the ice, he played so hard and did whatever he could to win. And that's why I think we are the team we are now. And again, we have to improve on as well. So it's definitely carrying on what these guys built, and finding, there's going to be little things that we have to find our own way, but with the staples of kind of what's been built here are definitely very important for us.
Ryan, how tough is this season going to be, just with the compressed schedule, more, not many off days along the way? It's going to be lots of back-to-backs and long road trips. What's it going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult when you're kind of playing two teams back-to-back every time. I can remember last year, and that we always ended up playing Nashville back-to-back days, and it's tough. It becomes a bit of a war out there, but as a group, we know it's going to be different. It's a difficult time for everyone, and it's unique, but I think we do good with this. I think we want to have those tight matchups, and it'll be tough and exhausting, but I think the more we play teams, the more competitive we get, the more like a rival. So I think it does help us in ways, but again, we have to be smart. We have to take care of our bodies. We have to do things very well. But it's going to be unique, for sure.
How do you feel about playing in the West and the alignment of teams, Vegas, Colorado, and you're going to see them a lot. You're going to play them like 8 times, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of tough matchups like that, and I think our travel isn't great. I think we got something like 9 back-to-backs. It's going to be tricky for sure. But kind of what I said before. Like I like our team for that. I know the more times we play a team and the more emotional we get with them and competing, it helps us. We like it, and that gives myself confidence and the coaching staff confidence in that as well.
Ryan, how much do the dynamics change for you guys on the blue line now when you take a guy like Petro off of that unit and add a guy like Torrey Krug?
Yeah, it's tough. I think they're different players, and not just power play, but we'll definitely miss Petro for so many things. But bringing Krug in is probably one of the best power play defensemen in the game, and I think we'll definitely have some different looks with him, which I think will be great. Will give us more opportunity in different areas. Also, too, with Petro being gone, it does open up ice for other guys, and we have a great group. We have tons of great players on that back end that it's going to see some more ice, and I think we'll be seeing some improvements from a lot of players.
Let's do a couple more for Ryan here.
Ryan, you're going to be playing hockey during a pandemic. I don't know how many of the rules and the protocols you've digested. What are your thoughts on that, and is this all going to be workable?
Yeah, it's going to be workable. We, guys are obviously around the room and stuff, we're talking about it, and it's not ideal. It's not anywhere close to the way it's normally done, but it is a pandemic, and we know that, and we know it's going to be difficult, but you can tell right now, being around the guys, we're excited to compete again, and that's the ultimate goal, and we don't want to jeopardize that. So we know there's going to be challenges and things that are going to be a little frustrating, but the main thing is playing hockey and competing again, and getting fans back in the building. So we want to do things the right way and get back on the ice and get back at it.
Where do you come down on the assistant or alternate captain debate? What's the A stand for?
Gosh, I think.
Ryan, I know you're a team guy, not an individual.
Sorry, I kind of got two questions there.
What was it like to see that C on your sweater for the first time?
Yeah, it was definitely really cool. Something maybe I never expected, but yeah, I think it's cool for a couple seconds, but more importantly, I think it kind of draws me into the responsibilities and the work that comes with it. So it's the thing I like about it is my own needs and stuff really kind of get pushed aside, and I think that's one of the best things about it, that it constantly are working to make things function as best as possible. So but it was definitely cool. It's definitely something I never really pictured.
All right, guys. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you joining us today, and thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.